tuning in.
Really?
Yeah, I already got 3 people. Dude, I got zucked the other day.
Sorry, I'm gonna just put it out there. Y'all know I'm the reason why we were late. I'll be late coming on that CP time. Recovery from yesterday, the 4th of July. So don't fault me. I'm human.
Uh, I got one message, and I'm like, nah, the man hit train traffic on the way in. I had to word it specifically so it didn't sound like you got hit by a train.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't get hit, but I got stuck in the traffic.
Uh,
I'm sounding straight, mate.
mhm. Yeah, we got all that set up prior.
Okay.
Good morning, Miss Melissa, Mr. Robert, Miss Wintus. Need 810 in my life, don't we all?
Sorry, that's my fault.
So, what do we got this week?
Uh, Nothing.
Nothing. No, there's been a few things nationwide we could talk about, I suppose.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Most recent Supreme Court ruling.
yeah. The striking of stripping of affirmative action and
In schools, not
school.
everywhere.
Well,
Yeah.
and institutions or whatnot. And what was the other one? The other one was something with LGBT, right?
That one I'm unsure of. I honestly don't follow that one too close. And then
Okay.
the ATF got their hands slapped recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was
They're
it
not allowed
the-
to make new rules anymore.
Okay, so
That makes me happy.
does that mean that the old rules are back in effect? Like they can't change the?
Each one of those has to be judicially reviewed through a lower court.
All
But
right.
I mean, if the ATF can't do that, that means the IRS can't do that. That means EPA can't do that. It means no more agencies acting like a legislative branch.
Okay.
Now that's huge. For I want to say the last 50 years, we've allowed executive agencies to make up rules that were counted as law. So
Okay.
you didn't have the IRS at one point. Law said you need 2 years of your tax records. IRS said no, make that 5 years, and that was counted as law. If you didn't have 5 years of your tax records during an audit, you could be slapped for not having the right amount of records.
Mm,
Sorry, IRS is the most terrifying organization in the world to me.
right. Yeah. No, I'm not really too fluent with the tax rules, the tax laws. And stuff.
No one is. There's over, I think, 1,200 pages of tax law. Even tax lawyers don't know the law inside and out.
Hmm.
It is so Byzantine. It is insane. Uh-oh. He broke it.
Go ahead. Y'all still on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, canceled fireworks. I mean, I don't know what a solution to that is other than have fireworks.
Uh, I thought the canceled fire. I mean, the fireworks were gonna be like on a different day.
So at first we heard that we were going to have fireworks on the 4th.
Right.
And then 2 different excuses popped up. One is the company that's supposed to do the fireworks double booked, so we'll have them supposedly next month. And the other is there's an excuse of weather. I'm sitting here
Yeah,
going,
that's the reason that I thought was.
yeah, but you looked up yesterday. There's not a cloud in the sky. You can
No,
see
you're
stars,
right.
and if
But-
it's concerned about the fires from Canada, you know, those were raging 2-3 weeks prior, and we still had Juneteenth fireworks. Right? So that's not an excuse at all.
Yeah,
I don't know. It just kind of hits weird.
I don't know, man. Can't get. I don't even know what to say.
It's Flint.
That's what I was about to say, but I didn't want to put down my city. But that's what that's exactly what I was about to say.
I mean, thing is, we can recognize that it is Flint, and then we can also recognize that we want to do better, and that calling it Flint isn't a proper excuse. It's just what it is for now.
Right.
You know, in the future, we want people to say, "Oh, that's Flint," in a positive way. You know, oh, I was walking down the street and this nice old lady offered me a ride. Oh, that's Flint. You know, we can go about changing our culture. It just takes a little while in viewing these new what is it? Damn it, values. These new values in our youth, and watch them grow up and pass it on to their youth.
Here's the thing about values in this generation, because I have this back and forth. I guess I've had it before, and the thing about values is, to me, well, not to me. you can just about instill whatever you want to in your child or try to.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think there's some type of maybe disconnect or overruling with the outside influences. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because your kids have to go to school. Even if you don't allow your kids to listen to certain music or watch certain TV shows or play certain video games or do certain things like that, they still have friends that do.
Mm-hmm.
Or they can do it when they're not with the parent.
Yeah.
So, like, there's the thing. By me being a teacher, I saw all type of stuff. By me being a parent, I see all type of stuff, which everybody can relate to, not just me. But certain music that is publicized, that is pushed, certain TV shows,
Mm-hmm.
certain lifestyles, certain things are stronger or overly influenced, stronger influences than a parent's influence, so to speak.
So parents, even if you throw in grandparents and uncles and aunts, right? That's 6, maybe 7 people.
Mm-hmm.
And parents are around the child. We'll be a little loose here and say 13 hours a day, but 8 of that is sleeping because also going out and hanging out with friends and stuff like that, right?
Well, school is 8 hours.
School is 8 hours, and then social media is 24.
Talk directly into the mic.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, social media is like 24 hours a day. So while you've got these 8 voices saying one thing, you've got literally hundreds, if not thousands of voices saying another, and certain things are glorified over another.
Mm-hmm.
So like in my house, we have a few values. We're a big gun family, and I always taught my kids firearms are a tool, and you go to the range, you let off some rounds, you can relax with it. But also, if you're ever in a weird situation, their way of getting food, their way of doing X, Y, and Z. And my oldest, after so much exposure to things in the schools, which I can understand, and social media, comes back and says guns are evil. If all guns were outlawed, no one would ever be murdered. I'm like, I don't know where to begin with how wrong that is.
Yeah, because you can kill somebody with
a brick,
stick,
with
a
a
brick, yeah,
with a truck.
Yeah.
So I've had to go back and use logic, whereas before it just used to be parental authority. It used to be mom and dad say X. I now understand X. Now with so many dissenting voices from the home, you actually have to explain why you believe that to your kid. And it's a healthy thing. At the same time, it's not. Like, it kind of degrades the authority of mom and dad. Mom and dad don't always know better, so I don't always have to listen to them. At the same time, it's like I really want my kids to think for themselves as well. It's like that double-edged sword, that double whammy.
Yeah.
And I get you. Like, my kids, my house, we listen to metal. My wife listens to hillbilly rock or whatever the hell. And my kids come home and they're listening to weird shit. Like Kesha had a meth arc or some shit.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. There's no message in that saying go out and shoot somebody that lives a block over. There's no message in that that's saying go out and sell dope or go out and scam this person or go out and whatever. There's that's not what's being pushed. But you can say, hey, I want you to listen to whatever that was, whoever that.
One of the stuff I listen to?
One of the groups you just named.
Oh, Kesha?
Kesha.
Yeah.
Or Mary with the shaved head, or you know what I mean, or anybody like that. But they could have some friends to go out and listen to one of these drill rappers that's saying, you know what I mean, go shoot this person, go shoot whoever their op is or whatever. So, and I'm not saying that that's all that they listen to, that our younger generations listen to, but it's a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of good messages in that same music at the same time, right? Like, make something from nothing, do better for yourself. There's a lot of that being pushed through, but those other messages are what the kids see.
It ain't saying do it legally. It's not saying go out and
you're absolutely
form an LLC or it's not saying that. It's saying go out and
Yeah,
Do what you do and get it from the mud.
you're not wrong.
So,
I mean, yeah, that's just something that parents have to temper that message with. Like, all right, he's saying X, Y, and Z. We're gonna just completely ignore X and Y were ever said and not get that in your little head. Because kids are extremely impressionable. Who knew? They're little sponges. You know.
they definitely are paying attention when you don't think they are.
Yeah, yeah. I was shocked the other day. I'm making wine, right? I'm making some strawberry and cherry wine. My last batches didn't end up well, and I take a sip of the cherry one. My face puckers. My kid looks at me and goes, "Is it that dry?" I'm like, who the hell taught you wine terminology? Oh, you did. I don't remember talking to you about this.
Hmm.
She's 17. She's supposed to be over this. Picking just random things up at all times. Trip me out. Maybe proud at the same time because I realize she's listening. 17 years old. I don't expect my kids to listen to me much anymore except for take out the trash.
So, I got a question.
Yeah.
And this is like directed directly towards you because you're a Republican, and this is I want to know.
Okay.
I want to know. So how? So over the past recently, well, since well, no, it's been before Trump. Republicans want smaller government, right?
Mm-hmm. Many safe.
But as soon as Republicans get power, they they start taking away rights and and then they support this person that doesn't understand democracy, more like dictatorish. That's not smallering the government. That's
So
enlarging the powers of actually making one person. Or I don't understand.
what we have here is a lot of ignorance from a lot of voters, right? They say they want smaller government. And then when a Republican comes in, they usually make smaller portions of some parts of government, but then super overinflate other parts.
But y'all want
And
to
they don't
control
look at it.
books. Y'all want to get books out of libraries and that's not, to me, it's not smaller government. That's making the government big as hell.
See, that's why for general understanding, I will say I'm a Republican. But for anyone who knows a political compass, I am a
No,
libertarian.
yeah, right. No, I will say that. Just I know that to be true. I know that's a fact. So I'm just I just wanted to, because I don't really know. At least I don't think I know that many Republicans that I can just openly go up and talk to.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
So when it comes to my point of view, I do believe that there are some limits on some things. Say content for children, right? I don't want any book being marketed to a kid in middle school about any sort of sex. Period. End of story. Done. There's, in my mind, no argument to that.
But
However,
you have sex ed in the 5th grade and the 8th grade.
That's educational rather than a push towards certain X.
So you mean like a novel type?
Yeah.
Amy's seeing Josh, Amy seeing Susie, or those
like
type of
I don't mind gay characters either. If someone were to write a book and it has a passage, we'll go with a well-known IP. So Sherlock Holmes, right?
Mhm.
Sherlock Holmes goes home at the end of the day to his husband. Cool. Don't care. But when they start, because I've seen some deplorable pictures of books going before certain school boards talking about minors having sex with each other and illustrating it and going into graphic detail put into some schools.
We don't need to see that.
That is no go for me.
No, I agree.
100%.
I agree. I agree. I just had to ask, but because it's I'm like, these are the same people that said we want smaller government, but they want this guy and he wants to control everything. And I don't know. It's like the hypocrisy. I just can't see it. It's too real for me.
I've given my honest views on certain Republican candidates before, such as Trump. I liked some of his policies. I like the economics. I like being able to go to Walmart and buy dinner for 2 days and not spend $200.
Mm-hmm.
Right. However, his mouth overrode his ass more often than I can count. He said some truly stupid things.
A whole bunch of stupid.
I wish someone would have
shit.
I
Like things
wish
ain't even in his vocabulary. He said shit.
I wish someone would have slapped that damn phone that he used to tweet away from. Just, Mr. President, shut up. You know? And then we see DeSantis. He's having a personal war with Disney right now. Whatever his motivations may be, that needs to stay the hell out of my government, right? You're not going to use your position to push this company for X, Y, or Z. I don't care. That's some truly stupid shit.
Here's what I don't get. How somebody got like 75 felony counts against them and they like sitting at the crib? Like, if I had like 75 felony charges, like I probably would be under the jail somewhere. Like,
it depends on your lawyer, I guess, how much you can afford to pay on a team of lawyers.
He obviously don't even pay his lawyers. Like I don't know. And then we enforcing fireworks after. If you get caught giving lighting off fireworks after midnight, you get $1,000 fine.
They followed that to the T last night in my neighborhood. No more fireworks after midnight. And then the Mac 10s and Tech 9s came out. I was hearing like actual automatic fire. I'm like,
what's the fine they enforcing for that? Yeah,
I mean,
what, Mickey? If it's $1,000 for fireworks, what's the fine for letting off a Mac 10 at 12:01 when they run out of fireworks?
Right. Like my mother-in-law, I was sitting in her backyard with her last night, and my daughter, niece, father-in-law, and in between the fireworks, we'd hear some gunshots, and that's kind of typical for us, whatever. And then I heard a Mac 10 go off one block up, and the only reason I know it was a Mac 10 is because I heard the receiver slamming itself shut. It was that close. I'm like, yeah, I'm grabbing the rifle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. After what happened a few weeks ago on my block, I'm not going unawares anymore.
Yeah. No, it's definitely and it's the crazy part is the further along we get in the summer, is the worse it's getting. It seems.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
and it's a late summer, so everyone's got that pent up energy.
But it's like, who all else is getting? It's like everybody else is getting shot. Like, who else is still wanting to get involved with this? Whatever.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like, so young lady killed on my block. A young man, same night, run over when people were panicking. Like, how can you want to go to these sort of things when this has happened to someone you know? Like, all right.
Because we've been watching it, like the Second World Council, with all the destruction that's going on. I ain't gonna say destruction with the pipes not getting fixed, the water being bad. How can they be throwing these different block parties? And like the people are just like, okay, we're gonna give you a party today, but then you gotta go back home. You still gotta bathe in this bad water. You still gotta.
You know what? Have y'all ridden? Have you rode? Is it ridden or rode? Driven down Clio Road. What's the name of that new restaurant? I don't want. Matter of fact, I don't even want to put no bad, juju out there on that.
Yeah.
But ridden around 12:30, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, it's full up with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have a problem with that because I like, I might pop in and pop out. You know what I mean? But when they start fighting and shooting, do you know, like, the police never come? Like, do you think that's by design?
Yeah. We spoke about it a couple weeks ago with what's it called? The planned scaling back of Flint and the reduction of services in certain parts of town. Yeah. We don't have roads paved in certain parts of town. We don't have police coverage in certain parts of town. And it's getting worse. We're losing lights in certain parts of town. This is by design. It is to shrink Flint and make people want to move away. This was put forward by Dan Kildee when he was on the County Board of Commissioners, and it was backed by City Council at the time. Though the plan was never signed into an agreement, they're still following along with it. I mean, you can actually see it in certain parts of town that, let's face it, the money ain't going to. And it's being diverted for a reason.
Of course.
They want to plan how Flint is going to shrink. And honestly, they forgot to factor in. People are stubborn. If I own my house, I'm not fucking moving.
Yeah, but if you live in a certain area, if it blows down, you got to ask the city for permission to build it back up, don't you? Like,
and the city usually says no because the plots are too small. It was good enough for my parents' generation. Right. It was good enough for my grandparents' generation.
Right. and there were more people. There were more people here then.
Yeah.
So it's not that
These
big.
little 2-bedroom homes are not a bad home if you've got 2 or 3 people, upwards to 4, depending on your basement. It isn't too small for anyone.
You're right.
Calling it that is an insult.
I think
honestly.
what they didn't. I think what they didn't take into consideration is that people would start to wake up. You know what I mean? Like everybody in Flint isn't awake just yet, but there's a lot of people that are starting to see the big picture and see what's going on. Or at least get on the track. I think that if we get some more people to tune in to shows like this, and shows like Wintis, and the whole network, and listen to what's really going on, I think that more people will start to see and start to get on the bandwagon, because it's I mean, it's always going to be negative. It's always going to be crime. It's always that's not going anywhere.
No.
But when you have wrongdoing by your leaders, and people start to see that, I think I'm thinking it's starting to pick up. So,
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm coming to the realization that Thomas Jefferson put in the Declaration of Independence. When a government no longer represents the interests of the people, it is the right of the people to remove that government. And I don't mean violence at all in any shape, way, or form. However,
look at your shirt, though.
This is a "Don't Tread on Me" shirt.
Right.
This is a Gadsden flag. But no, however, there are things that you can do. So city charter is not being followed, and we have members of our city council and mayor, so forth and so on, that we don't believe represent us. Just because they have an already set up government doesn't mean that you can't set up one parallel to it and just start following that one, make them invalid. There's very few laws against that, and those can be easily skirted around. Hell, there was a man in, I want to say, Virginia, who legitimately overthrew his city government, and the only thing he got was a fine.
How did he overthrow it, though?
Basically by walking into the mayor's office, grabbing the man bodily, and throwing him the hell out, and took over the office.
That's violent, though.
That's violent. But he only got a fine. So setting up a secondary government and just following what that one has to say and do, what are they going to do?
Let me ask. But hold on. Let me ask you this.
Positive there.
What town was this in Virginia?
God, I'll have to look it up for you.
Doesn't matter. What was the color of the person who walked in that mayor's office and grabbed the man by the neck? And what was he? Basically, was that a white guy that grabbed another white guy?
That's a white guy that grabbed another white guy.
Okay, yeah, that's why he got a fine. Because in Virginia, I used to live in Virginia. Well, I'm surprised it don't matter.
Virginia's Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia is Virginia. So if that had been a black guy that went and grabbed the white guy and threw the white guy out of the mayor's office, different results.
Different results.
Hey, probably got. This is to be honest. He would have got shot down trying to come up in there. That's what would have happened if he would have got past and didn't get his ass whooped.
I'm gonna say, like,
coming up
walk in our mayor's office, you got to get buzzed in, don't you? Yeah. So you can't just how you do that.
But recalls is a good start to this. At least removing a government that doesn't really reflect the interests of the people. These recalls are the first step in that.
It was a lot of people that were sitting there biting their fingernails, like, are they gonna go through? Are they gonna go through? Are they gonna go through? Because nobody, everybody's like, is this person connected to this person? Is it, so
yeah,
it's like,
it is a web of politics,
right.
Not just here in Flint, and not just going out through Genesee County, through the rest of the state and some parts nationally.
Yeah.
So seeing who's connected with who, and then sometimes that pressure put on will cause those strings to snap. Thankfully, this person is so bad X, Y, and Z. I don't want to be connected to him no more.
But that's the question I got for y'all for the next one. Ain't that a good reason why we should have recalls?
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing the work of the people for the people, because a lot of listen, not to just throw no shade, but like I said earlier about the question I was saying about how some of these parties that they throwing, but the water is not clean, the pipes are not dead. I wouldn't care what council voted for, but you in the seat now. We can't keep saying, "Oh, this person ain't this thing get it did." No, when you got it,
you got to push it.
The train was on the road.
Yeah.
But since y'all in there, just like the administration, you can't be handed the football and you was at 90%. Say you up, but then you blow the game.
Mm-hmm.
This is basically what I'm saying was going on. You got these council people, they think because we throw a couple parties, but the water's still not clean, the pipe's not fixed.
Yep.
And
Like,
our money came and went because this mother question, how can you be a council person? And I ain't talking about the three, I'm talking about the six that got that can control the vote, can get answered. How y'all allow administration to come tell y'all it might be 30 to 50 million? You know, I want to know exactly what it is because it's been
I
that
want
bank
that
account
penny
that's going
amount.
to tell right down to the last cent.
Yeah,
Like,
I just got a question about how many wards got speed bumps.
Shit. I'll be honest with you. I was thinking of breaking the law last night, taking some 4x4s, putting some nails through them, putting them in my street. There were people using it as a drag strip. I was about to have a speed
How,
strip.
like what wards? I think it's only, what is that? Is that 6 ward?
I think Tanya did some work and got some in her ward.
Right.
Yeah, he said 6, and that's why I was agreeing with him. I think Tanya got 1 or 2
No, but see,
in
I
high
think
traffic areas.
now I don't think because you know the mayor got one right in front of his house.
Yeah.
Right. But it's only 4 speed bumps in all, I think.
Mhm. Yeah.
Why didn't nobody else want speed bumps in their neighborhoods?
I want one in mine.
I mean, like,
I know.
I know you do, but like, there's
I
9
know.
council members though. Like, why is there no in 9 other wards? I mean, 8 other wards. Like,
and I don't care who take it. Why hasn't no money went to north of the Flint River? Can y'all answer that for me?
Yeah. Just like I said earlier, it's that planned scaling back of Flint. So that's why no money's going up there. No services, no improvements. They're trying to make people leave. That's the same. Like, it comes right back around to that. And this has been happening since, God, I want to say early 90s.
so here's my question, because got a rental property over on Trumbull and Sunny, I think it is. So you know what neighborhood that is? That's Merle Hood, right? Merle Hood. I know it is. I'm just saying
Mhm.
Merle Hood. Okay. Merle Hood's always, as long as I've been my 43 years on this earth, for the most part, it's been, kind of rough over there at certain spots. And that spot where I'm at is, kind of rough over there. A lot of abandoned houses, a lot of a lot of fields where houses used to be.
Yeah.
Look up, there's a lot of white people moving in that area. Now, again, you know me, I'm not racist at all, but it just shocked me that the thing is that, yeah, they want people to move out, but there's certain people that are moving in, though.
Yeah, that's trippy to me. I think it's because the city can't explicitly say, or the county can't explicitly say, we're not selling this land, especially when it's zoned for residential use. So I think that was a backfire because they really don't want Flint being as sprawling as it is, especially with our population as spread out as it is now. So they didn't think ahead of time to say, nope, when someone leaves, we're rezoning it.
Mm-hmm.
And now, opportunists come in like, shit. When I bought my house, you know how much my house was? And I love to brag about this. $3,500 flat.
Did you get it from the land bank?
No.
Okay.
I bought it from the previous owner. And that was something I had to jump on. Now, I've talked with people outside of Flint on the regular, and I tell them where I live, and they're like, let's see. And a few of them will actually look up real estate prices around here and go, holy hell, that is cheap. I go, yeah, you don't want to move here because of the water, though. They're like, oh, well, yeah, that's a good point. Then I direct them toward the land bank. They go, I didn't know it could get cheaper with that ER at the end. So you've got people from around the country looking, I want a home. I don't want to pay $1 million in rent in New York City for the rest of my damn life.
I'd like to say, or I would like to bet that it's easier for you to get a land bank house if you don't have a Flint address than for a person that has a Flint address. It's easier for somebody to come in from out of town and get a land bank house, and than for somebody that's from Flint that tries, because I mean I've tried a couple times, but I don't know that to be true, but it seems, for a couple of people that I know
Oh,
that
I
have
might.
come back that don't live in Flint anymore, that have actually purchased land bank houses. But I think that it used to be some type of stipulation that when you purchased one, you had to live in it or something like.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Now, my older brother, he and I have been talking, and it might come soon that he may want to move to Flint, be closer with me, X, Y, and Z. I might have him test that.
Yeah.
How easy is it for you to get a home off the land bank?
Yeah.
Ready to rehab or completely rehabbed, and see if he goes right on through. I mean, granted, we share a last name, so he's probably going to feel some of that heat. My bad.
I just know somebody, a particular friend of mine from Chicago. That's kind of like what she does. And she actually purchased 2 or 3 houses, a couple of years ago.
But you done heard the stories of actually people here. I done heard people like it's a hassle.
Of course.
I'm just serious. It ain't me trying to knock nobody's out. I know. You seen me in Winters at a meeting.
Yeah, you gotta unmute yourself, buddy.
Me and Winters then had a meeting with Mike Freeman,
Mhm.
Alexandria, that's down there, and we brought some of them issues up. People do say that they have damn near 99% of the. I ain't gonna say 99, at least 90% of the people I know. I'm not gonna
We'll go
lie
with the
and
solid
say,
majority.
I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't had nobody to say yeah they didn't have it. But now when I do think about it, a lot of them didn't stay in Flint.
Mm-hmm.
They got
them. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
So there's a lot of things I want to ask
bringing that up.
Yeah, because that's what I'm looking at. Because I remember one day cutting the grass on Trumbull, and I'm like, dang, it wasn't that long ago where there were like every house in this street was occupied. You know what I mean? And everybody in this area was black. Now when I'm cutting the grass, half the houses ain't there. Well, a third of the houses ain't there. Another third of the houses are
boarded up,
and or need to be boarded up. You know what I mean? And then there's people coming in that aren't from around, and that does not that to me that doesn't make me upset. Because it's still Flint. They still got to pay taxes. They still, they obviously are here drinking the water just like everybody, or not drinking the water, but
having
dealing
to live
with the water
around the water
right.
situation.
So they being acclimated to Flint.
Yeah.
They chose to come here, but the opportunity still was there for them to come here and buy a house that's fairly cheap.
Yeah.
When there are people that live here that would like to have the same opportunities that it seems like they don't get.
So when I lived in Midland, Texas,
Football time.
everything. Yeah, but yeah. It's in the Permian Basin right next to Odessa. And so when I got my GI Bill, they pay a basic allowance of housing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was $1,600 there is what I got. When I moved here, it was $1,200. But if you actually go through and look at the rental housing here that isn't, super market listed, the average cost for an apartment, single bedroom for single guy or whatever, is about $900. And then when you start looking through the listings and what the quote affordable stuff is, it's like $1,200.
Well, all right, so it looked like my facts might be. Art said 69% of the houses sold are to blacks. 50% of the contracts for demos are black. Okay.
But yeah, so just off of the market values, because when we say affordable here, $1,200 isn't really affordable to the people who live here.
Right.
But when you're looking nationwide and looking for a new place to move, if you can find a job in the city or in the surrounding areas, say like transfer your office to here, that $1,200 a month looks extremely appetizing when you're coming from 16 to 18 or from California, which is like 23, 24.
I know people in California paying
for like
45.
Yeah, for an apartment. And that's bringing a lot of people here. And thing is, we're losing more population because there are people that have been here for a lot longer than 2 weeks and just bought a home. They're like, yeah, look, I've had hope for this city forever. and I think it's about time I let that go and move on with my life. You know, so it's one of those heartbreaking situations.
Well, I said, hold up, I don't know what he said. This just happened. It hasn't been like this. What just happened? It ain't been like that. With 69% of the houses sold to blacks, so 50% of the contracts for them are black contractors.
Yeah,
I just want to clear up on that one.
I think Mike Friedman, he's the one that instituted a lot of those changes, isn't he?
Had to be.
Because before it used, like the horror stories I heard when I first moved up here about the land bank were before he actually took over. And yeah, there's still been one or two horror stories. Don't get me wrong, no one's perfect, nothing's perfect. But I think things have changed slightly for the better with him. I mean, call me wrong and prove me. I don't want to say prove me wrong because that sounds like a challenge. I'm open to being wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping I'm right. I'm hoping that there has been a positive step forward for Flint with at least this one individual. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't really care who it is. It's just
do right.
Yeah, yeah. if it's Ronald McDonald, just do right. If it's Mickey Mouse, just do right. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like make it fair for everybody.
Then I got another question for y'all. How y'all feel about the affirmative action?
Now, without me sounding, go ahead, Trevor. You want to start?
No, I'll let you start because like I have no horse in their say. I'm not going to college. My oldest has decided she's going to stay in Flint colleges and take in student loans. She's not going to field. She's not competing with no one. She wants to stay here in Flint. My youngest has decided she don't want to go to school at all. So when it comes to a personal feeling on this, when it comes to a nationwide feeling on this, I think that there could be some issues like legacies.
Well,
No, when a lot of these schools like Harvard, Yale, Stanford,
Michigan,
they want to talk about legacies. If you are a legacy student, you know, if your parents attended, then it's easier for you to get admitted.
You got
right?
like 75% more of a chance to get in.
Now, with disenfranchised families, we're not even going to go into skin color here, though it does heavily affect one side more than the other. We'll just acknowledge that straight up. Some families didn't have the opportunity to go in to be a legacy.
Some families are trying to start the legacy.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So here's the thing, and this is just on some, this you asked me, this is me personally. So
just your opinion.
All the PWIs I applied to, I ain't get accepted to. No way. I had to go to a black college. Both my parents went to black colleges. My daughter go to a black college. So I'm not sure exactly how much affirmative action affects. Didn't affect my family very much as far as but we all went to HBCUs. So I don't know, but I've had some students that but I just don't know personally. Not really affected.
Art just put up a rather fun info fact. To quote, white women benefited more from affirmative action than anyone. Reports show this.
Now, that is true because they are considered a minority.
So, I mean, if it was only affecting white women when it was supposed to do more for Hispanic population, for, say, Pacific Islander population, African American population, if it wasn't doing his job, like I always say, if a law or ordinance or whatever isn't doing what it's supposed to do, it needs to be done away with. Hopefully, now without those constrictions, they're going to start looking at who's actually suited for that role in the school rather than trying to fill a quota and just filling it with white women.
Here's my thought on that. I don't think that. I think we spoke about this before. If there's somebody that comes from a situation where they don't have two parents in the household, mm-hmm. and maybe they don't have a car, maybe mom or dad doesn't have a job, and they have to the student has to work to contribute to the bills, the household bills, and they got all these different barriers or hurdles or lifestyle differences from somebody who would normally get into these, or maybe be a legacy to a PWI that has two parents in the household. Both parents have,
$80K a year jobs.
Right, they're living above the median, and and this kid has a car at 16, and this kid doesn't have to work, and this kid is given an allowance, and this kid is, you know, got an Xbox in his TV in his bedroom, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this, the weight is a little bit different. If one kid can all they have to do is concentrate on studying or concentrate on sports in school, when another when this kid over here has a whole different lifestyle, but they got the same grades. I think stuff like that needs to be taken into consideration. So
That I would be heavily in favor for, instead of looking at a quota for, it has to be minority, because as we just said, white women are considered a minority. How about we look at the economic income bracket of the student and then give extra weight based on that? I mean, then you don't have them just trying to fill in this role with, oh, well, we'll go with a female, right? Parents are legacies, automatic, 65% higher chance. We can definitely get money out of her because parents are earning $80,000 a year, has a car, has all this, but she fills that little check mark. Whereas the exact opposite type person. So we'll say male, lower income bracket, working, going to school, trying to do extracurriculars just to get into a school, single family. They look at that and go, all right, no, we're going to take this person over the one that can get into any damn school, because we believe they put forth far more effort, got the same grades. So I think given the right environment, they will flourish and be more of a contribution to society.
Right.
I think that would be a suitable replacement, wouldn't you?
I just think that the whole entire spectrum needs to be looked at when you start taking away from specific people, specific races. I didn't want to say races, but specific, because it's only going to affect certain race anyway. And not replacing it with anything, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't see. But then again, we may as well. And everybody that knows me, I'm not racist by far, but I am pro-black. If that's how it is, then we just need to pump up the HBCUs. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like if it's gonna be more of a difficult task for us to get into the traditional, schools, then it might not be that bad going to a Jackson State. It might not be that bad going to a Norfolk State or to Hampton or to a Howard. I know a lot of people that do a lot of good things coming from those institutions. So
let me read this question for y'all. This from Art, what he put in here. He said, let me put it up for people can't see.
Glasses came off.
Yeah, because I was going to read it. It says, this from Arthur Woodson. It says, Supreme Court on Thursday struck down affirmative actions admissions policy used by Harvard College and the University of North Carolina to build diversity on their campuses. Legal observers say that decisions will have huge consequences for higher education and could have significant ripple effects for corporate diversity programs.
So,
I mean, as we just spoke about, though, they're trying to hit those diversity quotas by usually accepting white women. That's not helping anything, but
I think they trying to strike those down too. The whole diversity quotas, all that's going to be in question. It's going to be up in the air soon. To me, I think we're going in that direction.
I mean,
if they get mad at people for having those, certain, programs and last, what was it, Chick-fil-A that everybody was ticked off at a couple months ago.
Oh, everyone's still pissed at diversity. Budweiser.
Yeah, then they had the nerve to have a trans person on a commercial or whatever it was. Like,
so I run around in many of those circles, and I'll tell you from our point of view, it isn't that there's a trans person. We don't care, gay, straight, whatever. At least in these circles, right? There are some that do give a care, and those people are a bunch of blowhards.
Yeah.
We don't listen to them. It was more of the marketing executives' opinion on people like me and people like they want to get away from this frat boy do nothing nature. Now you just insulted me. Granted, I don't drink Bud Light. It tastes like water.
Yeah, it does.
But they're gonna disrespect me and folks that have been propping this product up for decades just to try to make a point. When in fact you could have gone about it and said, Bud Light is for everyone. We welcome everyone. You know,
I don't think it was a disrespect thing, but it's like trans people drink Bud Light too.
Yeah,
Let them
like-
get some shine. Like
when it
gay
comes
people drink Bud Light.
when
Like
it comes to my circles, that's how we feel. Like if you're gay, if you're trans, if you're any part of that alphabet, because that acronym grows longer and I just lose track of which letters go where now. Actually, they just recently changed it to have
So
new
they
starting
added
letters.
some-
Anyway, don't care. Enjoy your drink, enjoy your group. If you want to hang out with us, that's fine and dandy. You know, then you got some circles that are sitting there and they hit that Bible too hard and oh, this is against this. Like, why don't we all just go back to the original? What he was without sin cast the first stone.
yeah.
Let's go back to that mentality instead of trying to judge others, because that to me is the dumbest thing in the world, the most hypocritical thing ever.
Or just
I think
mind
what-
your own business.
Yeah,
but see, that's what I think. Some of it, that's what it is. Now, every now when they say this is a free country, we're supposed to have freedom of speech, right?
mm-hmm.
Freedom of thought.
Mm-hmm.
It can be what you were saying in your circle that you was in. You could be right, and to some others, you could be wrong.
Mhm.
My thing is this: I don't care what you is, but do I care that say a trans whatever got to drink Budweiser?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't
Do your thing.
Did you
I
even
agree.
think about it before the commercial? Did you
Right.
even think
No.
about trans people drinking Bud Light or New Amsterdam or Hennessy or what? Like, do
Right.
it matter? Like, you go to the liquor
When it-
store, you get what you get, and you walk up out the door.
When it came to me in the club, the only thing I cared about if people were drinking, what they were drinking, was gin, because some people just can't handle gin. I'm staying on the opposite
I'm one
side
of
of the
them
bar of that person.
But that's the point that I'm saying.
That's all I
like,
cared about.
I can understand people who do have pushback because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Is they catering to like it's gonna be a catch-22 because whoever you gonna help, you gonna turn the other side off.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
been a big thing lately.
At the end of the day, this, and I ain't mean to cut you off.
No,
but
go ahead.
just,
No, go
like,
ahead.
if everybody just mind their own damn business, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, don't push that stuff off on me. I won't, don't push no religion off on me. Don't try to force this on me. Don't try to force your sexuality on me. Don't try to force none of this. Just let me be me, and I can, just
And I'll let you be
I'll
you.
let you be you. Just do it over there.
And then the messed up part about all this is like majority of America agrees with you and I here. Live and let live. Do your own thing. But then you got some interests that say, oh, if you are like me, not even if you feel like me or think like me, if you are like me, then you must be against that. Or if you are like me, then say is coming from the other side, then we don't want you in our playground. And it's a very small group of people that have a loud voice, and it seems like we're constantly being pitted against each other, where any common ground is constantly getting eroded.
I'm just
At the end of the
let
day,
if they want to drink beer, let them drink beer.
Mhm.
Like, I don't get it.
you want to have a beer, you know what? Have a beer. Have whatever beer you want. I will try to say Bud Light tastes like crap, but if you enjoy it, you know what? More power to you.
But there are some days Coors Light tastes like water too. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
no.
But there are some days when I just like I might get done cutting the grass and like, you know what? Let me go get some Coors Light just because.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't like light beer at all.
I don't either.
I drink cervezas, usually Corona.
Yeah,
That's my deal, So like, I really have no preference when it comes to the. I guess it's like a beer boycott war. Like, you know what? Let Bud Light do its thing. If let people who drink it, and let's not, say it's a conservative that still likes Bud Light. Let's not shame them because they're drinking Bud Light. You know what? Don't put it as it's a us or them situation.
yeah,
It ain't.
That's the point.
It should not be if you it's I just don't get it. Everything is us or them now.
Yeah,
and
Everything
that's
is us or them.
everything.
And that's what I was trying to like with the affirmative action because you made a good point. Like you said, if you don't, we go back to the HBCUs because then it goes back to even the athletes.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? This is like you saying they trying to get started to start a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying at these colleges, but if you gonna play it like that, so sometime I be thinking when you call yourself trying to cut somebody else off, you be cutting off different people.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that's what it's me. Like I was reading that what I said when they said majority of white women benefited from that.
Mm-hmm.
What you think gonna happen now? When we ain't forced, like let me rephrase that. Not saying we, 'cause I ain't in corporate America. When they not enforced, as far as looking at all these different, say ESPN, you know what I'm saying? These different sports shows where they ain't like you said, they ain't got to force to
Mm-hmm.
take this woman now, because a lot of them was CEO positions,
Yeah.
and you ain't in that position no more.
I've
You
always been
can't fault nothing but yourself.
I've always been a big fan of blind hiring. You as an applicant come in, they give you a number, they don't ask you any of your background except for your job experience and schooling. And then they go through that and choose based off the best that they think fits them. And it doesn't have to be like, oh well, this person's got the highest X, Y, and Z. When in the hobbies, I see, all right, this person's pretty based. We can get along, fits the atmosphere of the office, and they have the credentials enough to get in. That's something I've always wanted to see.
Well,
I mean, granted, there are definitely some blind spots there that can be
a
exploited.
whole lot of them. Yeah.
At the same time, it's like if you just instantly discount that because I showed you that tweet from that damn reporter, didn't I? Oh man. So she said, I really want to look it up and read it verbatim, but I won't. Basically, it came to, she said, minority people cannot excel in a meritocracy based society. She was basically saying that without something propping them up, that these other people are not as good at X, Y, or Z. And I always thought that was the most ignorant bullshit in the world.
Well,
Like,
the whole
I get that there's some stops and a lot of fucking hurdles, but once you get to a point, you should be recognized as just a whole ass person instead of.
well, we still 3/5 of a person. You know that, right?
I'm going to need some explaining on that one.
3/5 of a person?
No. The still part.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I know the original, and that
yeah.
that thankfully eventually got a quill through it.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I guess it hasn't been changed yet.
We're still counting African Americans.
That's probably one of those that is overlooked and not even enforced. But I was about to say, shoot, I forgot. You made me forget what I was about to say.
I'm good at that.
I was about to say something. It was good too.
Going back to a merit-based hiring process. Then.
I don't believe in the merit-based hiring process.
You
And
know,
I don't mean it can't be done, but when they say we not gonna see who you is, they can see who you is just off the name.
Right.
no,
When they go to see in the name, I'm saying we know certain names is gonna go to blacks.
that's why
we
I
know
said
certain
you
names.
get a number, and
Yeah,
they
but
evaluate based off that number. There is
that's
no
just
name tag.
that's just like they say justice is blind, right? They say justice is blind, but I'd be damned if it ain't sometimes she come lifting it up.
Oh
look.
yeah.
That's the only point I'm saying, because we can see, man, you can probably do the same crime, Trevor. I'm gonna probably get down there. You might say get probation, I might get 3 years, and we can do the same crime. That's just like down in Mississippi where they just said how they gonna have a law for blacks and a law for whites. Why is we even discussing that in 2023?
That needs to be reviewed, not just at a judicial level, at a Supreme Court level, in conflict with the 14th Amendment, so we never see that again when it comes from the Supreme Court.
We go
because
back,
that's some stupid shit.
But now we going back. But that's in Mississippi, right?
Yeah.
Now let's go back to DeSantis in Florida. Now look how he going with his. You see what I'm saying? These are people that's in government. Them ain't the only ones who think like that. That's what I'm saying. You got when you got people that's thinking like that, that's in position of power, man. This is what you get when you get a corrupted person, and I don't mean just could be corrupted morally.
Okay.
and you putting them in a position of power, look what you would get.
Yeah.
I.e., don't vote for the pipes of the second ward, helping them get fixed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just you could be corrupted morally, and you would be thinking you're doing the right thing, but really when you voting against, well, you doing things against your own people. That's all I'm saying.
I might have the wrong understanding of public official or elected official, but you're supposed to do what the public wants, right? Like, I mean, like you got your own views and your own value system, but you still got to do what's best for everybody.
Yeah, you are everyone's representative, not just the ones who voted for you.
Right.
You
Of course.
yeah.
And there's a lot of people that don't understand that,
No.
which goes back to the us versus them thing. Like, so, you know, certain people, you know, even with the Dink situation, when you know when he asked for help and he said, no, you supported, you know, you supported Dr. Weaver. I can't do nothing for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
us versus them. Like, that's like you didn't support me, so I can't support you. That's the dumbest shit. That, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like this, we all Flint. If you know, excuse me for cussing again.
no. We're doing generally better than I do on Fridays on the cussing front. So we're already ahead of the game there, right? But no, you're right. Like, even if I were to run for mayor, probably never will. I won't give a definitive there just because I don't know what tomorrow's going to hold, right? If someone heavily supported my opponent and gave them all the money that they were allowed to and then pulled in as much support as they could for him, you know, vote parties, whatever, and then they had a project that would benefit Flint after I got elected, you can be damn sure I'm throwing my weight behind them. Why? Because it benefits the city that I'm trying to administer, that I'm trying to help myself. Having a political grudge like that just ends up hurting the city after is pretty childish.
Yeah.
That's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
It seems to me like everybody would be stronger and better off if everybody was more inclusive than, you know, cut off this person, cut off this group, cut off this group. If you ain't like me, then, you know, it's over with. It's no, you know, we can't talk.
But that's how you don't get no money north of the Flint River when y'all divided.
Right.
Yeah. Like, it's gotten crazy in some areas. So the 40K fandom, you know, my Space Marines and all that fun stuff, has subdivided itself based off of who people supported in the last prime minister election in England. I mean, granted, it's mainly a English hobby. At the same time, like, refusing not to play someone here in the States because they supported, I don't even know who the hell ran over there. No one cares, honestly.
Yeah.
It's England. It hasn't been relevant since the 1500s. We haven't cared about them since 1776.
Don't they got a queen and a king?
They have a king. The queen recently died. The king
Right.
was expected to abdicate the crown to his son because he's old and no one likes him. But they also have a prime minister and a parliament made up of two houses, the House of Lords and the House of Commons.
Right. I knew that. Huh. But they still got a king and a queen, so that's why they.
Yeah, very little power, except they do collect a huge chunk of British taxes. Taxation is theft, once again. We got a minute. All right. Well,
Did you say that again?
Tell them we went swimming in. Hell no, I did not go swimming in no river. I think that just about covered. Like, we went over some rather big issues today, right?
Yeah, we kind of bounced around a lot of. Yeah.
And we came up with some thoughts and ways to fix it, and some things that there are no real ways to fix it except by just changing our attitude as a culture and as a society. You know, like there is no permanent fix for every problem except for just having a flexible mindset, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. And the obstruction is.
Yeah.
Don't ask hard questions.
Don't ask hard questions.
Hey, my mom found out we got put out of that. She was like, "I heard you got put out of."
Oh man,
He was already off.
All right. Well,